Ever catch yourself reaching for your phone or craving junk food without thinking? That's a glimpse into how addiction works in our brains. Addiction isn't about weak willpower, it's a chronic brain disease that changes how we think and act. Key difference from a habit is the loss of control, even when it causes harm. To understand addiction, we need to explore how our brain's reward system gets hijacked, turning simple pleasures into powerful compulsions. Let's delve deeper into the fascinating world of dopamine and its crucial role in our brain's reward system. This intricate network is fundamental to how we experience pleasure and motivation. It motivates us to repeat behaviors that are essential for our survival, ensuring that we seek out the things we need to thrive. These behaviors are deeply ingrained in our biology. Consider eating a fundamental need, or the importance of connecting with others, fostering social bonds and support networks. When we engage in something rewarding, something that benefits us, our brain responds by releasing dopamine, a powerful neurotransmitter. This isn't just about experiencing pleasure in the moment. It's about creating a drive within us to seek that reward again and again, reinforcing those beneficial behaviors. Natural rewards trigger a moderate release of dopamine, a balanced response that helps keep our system in check and promotes overall well-being. However, substances like drugs, highly processed foods, and the allure of digital technology can trigger dopamine surges that are far more intense. These surges can overwhelm our brain's natural capacity to regulate dopamine levels, pushing us far beyond what our brains were originally designed to handle. This intense stimulation can trick the brain, creating a false sense that these artificial sources are essential for survival and well-being. The deception set the stage for the development of addiction as the brain begins to prioritize these artificial rewards above all else. And what is the ultimate result of this process? Our natural motivation system, once geared towards healthy and sustainable rewards, gets hijacked by these artificial stimuli. Consequently, we find ourselves relentlessly chasing these artificial highs, often at the expense of our overall health and happiness. Think about indulging in a slice of rich chocolate cake, that decadent dessert we all know and sometimes love. Or consider the fleeting satisfaction of social media likes, those little digital affirmations that light up our screens, or even the temporary buzz from nicotine. Each of these experiences in its own way floods the brain with dopamine, that feel-good neurotransmitter, and it does so at levels much higher than what we experience from natural rewards, like a healthy meal or a meaningful conversation. Food companies and tech platforms, understanding this mechanism, meticulously design their products to maximize this dopamine-releasing effect, ensuring we keep coming back for more. This intentional design makes us crave more of their offerings, often without us even realizing why. Social media in particular uses unpredictable rewards, a variable reward system, to keep us endlessly scrolling, always hoping for that next hit of validation or entertainment. On the other end of the spectrum, drugs like heroin create dopamine spikes so intense that they completely overwhelm the brain's natural reward system. Over time, with repeated exposure, our brains learn to prioritize these artificial rewards above all else, reshaping our neural pathways. This rewiring makes cravings feel incredibly intense and almost impossible to resist, trapping us in a cycle. Even seemingly harmless cues, like a simple phone notification or the sight of a familiar snack logo, can trigger intense urges and powerful cravings, pulling us back into those patterns. This is how seemingly innocuous everyday habits, repeated over and over, can gradually spiral into powerful addictions that take over our lives. Initially, addiction often begins with the allure of a pleasurable sensation. It's about liking the feeling, that initial rush of dopamine and the activation of the brain's reward pathways. This positive reinforcement is a key factor in the early stages of substance use. But with repeated use, the brain's delicate balance begins to shift. The brain adapts by reducing dopamine sensitivity, a process that fundamentally alters how we experience pleasure. This is what we call tolerance, a diminished response to the substance. Now it takes more of the substance to feel the same level of pleasure that was once easily achieved. The initial dose no longer provides the same effect. As a consequence, natural joys, the simple pleasures of life, gradually lose their appeal. The shift from simply liking the experience to compulsive wanting happens subtly but powerfully. The intense pleasure fades, becoming a distant memory. But paradoxically, the urge to use grows stronger, fueled by a deep-seated craving. The brain's motivation system becomes hypersensitive to cues associated with the substance, driving compulsive behavior even when the experience is no longer enjoyable and despite the negative consequences. Furthermore, changes in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's control center, weaken self-control and decision-making abilities. This makes it incredibly hard to quit, even when the individual is fully aware of the significant risks involved. Addiction isn't simply a matter of willpower or choice, it's far more complex. The brain is physically rewired, its neural pathways altered to prioritize the addiction above all else. That's why breaking free from the grip of addiction is such a profoundly difficult and challenging process. The good news, the brain can heal thanks to neuroplasticity. Recovery means rewiring the brain, replacing old habits with healthier ones. Therapy, like CBT, helps people recognize triggers and build new coping skills, strengthening new neural pathways. Medications can support recovery by easing cravings and stabilizing brain chemistry, rebuilding a life with natural rewards. Hobbies, exercise, relationships reactivates the brain's healthy dopamine system. Support groups offer community and hope. With the right help and commitment, recovery is possible. The brain can change and life can be reclaimed.